Some nights are just different. The air crackles, the entire world seems to stop, and that's when legends are made. We're talking about the absolute peak of club football, the Champions League final. And today, we are diving into the most dramatic, the most heartbreaking, and the most glorious finals of all time.
But what is it really? What's that magic ingredient that turns a 90-minute football match into a story that gets told forever? Well, it's a mix of some of the most powerful emotions you can imagine. First up, you've got the heartbreak, that crushing, soul-destroying feeling of getting so close you can practically taste victory, only to have it ripped away from you at the very last second.
And then, of course, there's the flip side, the absolute, pure, unfiltered joy of reaching the top of the mountain, seeing a lifetime of work, a whole season of battles pay off in one single glorious moment.
And sometimes, just sometimes, it's about seeing something that shouldn't be possible. Come back so wild, so completely against the odds, they literally rewrite what we think can happen in sports.
Okay, so let's get into it. We are counting down the top 5 greatest finals ever, all through the eyes of football commentator Mohamad Adnan. Now, this isn't just some random list. This is his personal take, a journey through the matches that really defined an era for him. And I think this quote from him just nails it. These aren't just games you watch and forget. They're memories. They're stories we pass down that feel just as real today as they did the moment they happened.
All right, let's kick this countdown off. Coming in at number 5 and number 4, we have 2 incredible stories of first-time dreamers going up against footballing giants. Kicking us off at number 5 is the 2006 final in Paris. Man, what a matchup. You had this magical Barcelona side led by the one and only Ronaldinho hunting for their second title. And they were facing an Arsenal team with Thierry Henry at the absolute peak of his powers, desperate to win their first ever European crown.
Now, this game was just full of twists. Only 18 minutes in, Arsenal's goalie Jens Lehmann gets the first red card ever in a Champions League final. A total disaster, right? You'd think so. But no. Down to 10 men, they somehow managed to take the lead with a massive header from Sol Campbell. They fought like lions, but then Barcelona brought on a super sub, Henrik Larsson, and he just changed everything, setting up 2 late goals. And, get this, the winner was scored by Giuliano Belletti, and it was his only goal for Barcelona in the competition. What a way to win it, and just a gut-wrenching way for Arsenal's dream to end.
All right, let's move on to number 4, the 2012 final in Munich. This was a classic David versus Goliath story. I mean, for real. You had Bayern Munich, the German giants, playing the final in their own stadium, looking for their 5th title. And who were they playing? A Chelsea side that had kind of limped to a 6th-place finish in the league and was being led by an interim manager. They were the definition of underdogs.
And the whole story of this final, it really revolves around one man. Before the game, a 34-year-old Didier Drogba, probably thinking this was his last shot, went up to his younger teammate Juan Mata and said, "I've been playing at the highest level for 8 years and haven't won it. You have to help me win this trophy." And that desperation, man, it fueled one of the greatest performances you will ever see. It looked like it was all over when Thomas Müller scored for Bayern in the 83rd minute. The home crowd was going insane. But then destiny just stepped in. In the 88th minute, from Chelsea's very first corner of the entire match, Drogba rises up and scores this unbelievable header. Then in extra time, he actually gives away a penalty, but Petr Cech saves it. And then, of course, in the shootout, who else but Didier Drogba steps up to score the winning penalty, winning Chelsea their first ever Champions League title against all the odds. Just incredible.
You think that was dramatic? Oh, we are just getting warmed up. The suspense is only building as we head into our top 3. And number 3 takes us to a bitter, bitter city rivalry playing out on the biggest stage imaginable.
So for number 3, we're in Lisbon for the All Madrid final in 2014. For Real Madrid, this game was about one thing and one thing only, La Decima, their 10th title. It had become this 12-year obsession. For Atlético Madrid, it was the dream of winning their first ever title. A chance to finally step out of their rival's shadow. And Atletico took the lead and defended with their lives, just like you'd expect from a Diego Simeone team. The clock just kept ticking down. 90 minutes, 91, 92.
And then, at this exact moment, 92 minutes and 48 seconds on the clock, history was completely rewritten.
From a last-chance corner kick, the Real Madrid defender Sergio Ramos just hangs in the air and powers a header right into the bottom corner, an equalizer at the absolute death.
So here's the thing. That one goal didn't just tie the game. Oh no. It completely broke Atlético Madrid. They were physically exhausted and mentally shattered. When extra time started, they just had nothing left in the tank, and Real Madrid ran wild, scoring 3 more goals to finally capture that coveted La Decima.
Coming in at number 2 is a final that's famous for having maybe the most shocking ending in football history. 1999, Manchester United versus Bayern Munich. United were chasing this unbelievable historic treble. But, and this is a huge deal, they were without their 2 best midfielders, Roy Keane and Paul Scholes. Bayern were at full strength. They took an early lead, and for pretty much the whole game, they were the better team. It really looked like the dream was over for United.
And this is where it just gets insane. The ref signals 3 minutes of stoppage time. So, in the 91st minute, a corner comes in, it's a mess in the box, and the substitute Teddy Sheringham just kind of scuffs it into the net. 1-1. It's incredible. But wait, they weren't done. Just 2 minutes later, they get another corner. Sheringham flicks it on, and the other sub, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, sticks out his foot and pokes it into the roof of the net. 2 goals in injury time, from total despair to pure ecstasy in about 102 seconds. Unbelievable. But you know what? Even that mind-blowing comeback can't top our number 1. A final so unbelievable, so completely logic-defying that it has its own name in football history. The Miracle of Istanbul.
So this is it, the greatest final of all, according to Mohamad Adnan. AC Milan versus Liverpool in 2005. And listen, on one side, you had a Milan team that was basically a who's who of footballing legends. Maldini, Kaká, Shevchenko. I mean, they were arguably the best team on the planet. And on the other side, you had a hard-working but, not so fancy Liverpool team. And by halftime, it was 3-0 to Milan. The game was over. It was turning into a humiliation.
But then, in the second half, something impossible happened. In a wild span of just 6 minutes, Liverpool turned the entire football world upside down. First, the captain, Steven Gerrard, scores a looping header. 2 minutes later, Vladimir Šmícer scores from way out. Then, 4 minutes after that, they get a penalty. Xabi Alonso's shot is saved, but he follows it up and smashes in the rebound. From 3-0 down to 3-3. In 6 minutes. It was just absolute wonderful madness.
The game went to extra time, and Milan really should have won it. In the last few minutes, Andriy Shevchenko had a shot from point-blank range, then another one from the rebound. But somehow, Liverpool's goalie, Jerzy Dudek, pulled off a double save that, I swear, still breaks the laws of physics when you watch it today. That was the save that kept the miracle alive, sent the game to a penalty shootout, where Dudek became the hero all over again, and Liverpool completed the greatest comeback of all time.
Wow, what a journey, right? From last-second heroics to comebacks that just shouldn't be possible, these finals are what make football the greatest sport in the world. So, just to run it back one more time, Mohamad Adnan's list has the Miracle of Istanbul at number 1, followed by United's unbelievable treble-winning comeback, Real Madrid's obsessed chase for La Decima, Chelsea's ultimate underdog story, and Barcelona's dramatic win over a 10-man Arsenal.
But look, that's one man's personal, passion-filled list. It's his story. But it makes you think, doesn't it? Of all the drama, all the history, all the moments that made your heart stop and your jaw drop, what's the greatest final you've ever seen?